What is going on, guys? And if you are a Destiny fan, then this is a wonderful time to be alive because right around this time it is E3, one of the greatest days and slash weeks for gamers in general, and Bungie, being a beast, has just released a ton of information and a trailer about the new DLC that they are making, which was once called the Comet Drop. If you ever heard that name, you know that is the biggest DLC that they were planning on making, and it finally has a name, and it's called the Taken King. Now, what this video is going to be, we're basically just going to be talking about all the insane subclasses. I'm going to be reading off the Bungie page about what they've said about all the subclasses and what they are actually called, and also telling you some things that they know that page does not tell you, like some perks that each class has and stuff. You know what's fun? I already made this video, but then I've realized Bungie has, the Destiny page. I went on it and I found a ton of new information, so I was like, well, that video's not working anymore. Anyways, but there is still some information that I'm pretty sure is not on there, like for instance, certain grenades that each class has that it hasn't told us yet. All those kinds of things that Deej has actually mentioned in a fair bit of interviews for E3. That's what this video is going to be. It's just going to be speculating on what those classes are. And of course, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with the Hunter, which is the Night Stalker, I believe, which, oh god, cannot wait to play that. Alright guys, so let's start with the one that I know the very least about, which is the Warlock subclass called the Stormcaller, which to me sounds like some Thor shit, if you would agree. Now, one thing that you should also keep in mind is that makes a lot of sense because, well, this subclass is electricity based. Now, this lets you basically just shoot out a storm of electricity through your hands and right in front of you. Now I actually have seen some gameplay in one of the E3 things I watched where it showed one of their main ability is to shoot electricity out of their hands. That's their main ability. But also one of the augments that I think they have to augment that is an AoE around them. So wherever you're looking, of course, is going to be a little more farther distance for your arc burn, or for your arc lightning tethers, but I am pretty sure that there is going to be an AoE around them, because again, I seen a multiplayer video where he was sitting there and he had like a reasonable AoE around him, not like extremely visible like a bubble, but it was there enough where I could see there was a current like latcheling off of him, like off his back, so it's not like I'm right in front of him. So I would see that also being an augment for a super, just because it kind of makes sense. Anyways, let's read the actual subclassing that Bungie has written, the thing that's gonna just tell you what this class is going to be and what it's gonna try to accomplish. Alright, Warlock's Stormcaller. Stormcallers directly manipulate arc energy, focusing body and mind to channel and chain the lightning. Their enemies are given fair warning. Flee from battle or face the storm. Dear sweet Jesus, Bungie, you're just the most... Whoever writes this shit just knows how to get your heart pumping like, oh my god. Yes, please. Anyways, so now let's move on to the next one, which is the Titan, which is actually called the Sunbreaker. Now, for some reason, Bungie loves Titans to the point where they are literally probably one of the most overpowered characters in the game. And yeah, not to say that I think they should be nerfed, because I think it's beautiful when I have a Titan on my team. I'm like, oh god, thank god, I can be safe now. He's like literally he's the big brother that you always wanted. Anyways, that got fucking weird. Anyways, so essentially what this beast can do now is he's the other half of the Warlock. He is Thor. He is the hammer part, not the electric part. Anyways, so this son of a bitch has Thor's hammer, which hopefully I can show this image on screen that I'm seeing right now, and holy shit, does that hammer look crazy cool. Like that, the trailer doesn't give it justice. Damn. Anyways, so it does show in the trailer like some awesome parts of like you evolving. So I didn't mention it, but for the Warlock, it's gonna have this part where like he's imbued with electricity and just looks awesome. Each one of the characters has this moment, which is amazing. So anyways, for the Titan, it's basically where he's behind this sun. I think it's actually the lighthouse where that's actually filmed. Where the story mission is probably gonna take place, because I believe that's how it's gonna work. Is like you're gonna do a story mission that's gonna you're just gonna tell how your guardian unlocks his power, which is gonna be amazing. I can't wait to play it. Anyways, back to the Titan. So the Titan's special ability or super is where he takes this hammer that is completely made up of fire, and he can throw it as a ranged ability. So he has a ranged damaged ability, which I'm pretty sure he can spam the hammers. Like he can throw like a ton. But I'm sure it's like the Blade Dancer. When you throw it, it takes a chunk out of your super. But the thing that kind of worries me is that it can also be used as a melee attack. Now, the reason why that worries me is because what about the Blade Dancers? And people could be like, oh, well, you can go invisible. Okay. And when you kill people, you get a Blade Dance longer. Okay. But also, when you're Blade Dancing, you're somewhat vulnerable, and you don't do a lot of damage either. You do some damage, but not a lot. Like a freaking ball of death could easily kill, like 7 enemies easily. Whereas my blade dance, I can hit an enemy 7 times, like an elite or something, and I can be damn sure he's not dying. So, okay, okay, no one has any words for that. Okay, anyways, I backstep. So that's where I'm kind of worried. I really hope that, like, again, the Titans are already somewhat more melee than the actual blade dancers. Like, their shoulder charge can fucking ruin you, and their melee, I think, even for Fists of Havoc or whatever it's called, it's like the it's their electricity build. When they punch you with the fist of lightning, that shit hurts just as much as our blade dancer, who is spec specifically for blade dancing. Like, we get a teleport twice. They get a damage buff. It's like, oh, and they get a shoulder charge. It's like, oh god. But yeah, no. Nevertheless, that class looks overpowered as shit. Now, man, it makes me want to make a Titan, because I'm a for those of you guys who do not know, I'm a hunter and a little bit of a warlock, more void walker than anything. It's just like the idea of like black magic, being able to destroy the dark things. Really fucked up, but also awesome. But yeah, guys, that's a Titan. Oh shit, we gotta read the special text. Son of a bitch. Titan. New class is Sunbreaker. What? I never read that properly, but it's called Sunbreaker. Remember the gauntlets that everyone loves so much, the Sunbreakers? If that's a fucking throwback to that, then Bungie, not cool, bro. All the warlocks are gonna fucking kill this character immediately when they see him. So incendiary siege enemies of war. Sunbreaker Titans hammer and shatter their enemies' ranks from afar, raining cleansing fire down upon fortified defensive positions. Not as cool as the warlocks, but still pretty cool. Like, the warlock makes us feel intimidated, whereas the Titan's just like, I'm just gonna kill you. I'm just gonna like rain fire on your face. That's what's gonna happen. It's like, oh, well, that's actually pretty awful. Alright, so now we got a little bit more time to talk about the frickin' my favorite class, which is the Hunter. And yeah. So the Hunter is actually what you would expect. Each class, the Titan and the Warlock, have kind of a support class, if you will, something to kind of help out teammates, get them up more, boost their level up, etc. Boost their stats up. Like, I think Sunsinger is support and so is Defender Titan, but the Hunter never got there, so this is what theirs is going to be. And I'm, the more I think about it, the more I'm okay with it. The more I see gameplay of it, the more I'm like, ooh, I hope they do the right things with it. And we'll talk about that right after I talk about what it does. So essentially what the Hunter's new class is called the Night Stalker. Probably the coolest sounding name out of all of them. Anyways, the Night Stalker, essentially what it does is it's a bow. And this missing subclass is Void. So they are going to it's going to be like a Void bow, which you pull back and it looks so amazing. Anyway, so when you activate your super, you get a little bit of airtime, just like with all supers. I feel like the bow, it's a little bit more. But anyways, you pull this bow back and then you hit, I think, just in the vicinity of where you want it to happen. Now, what happens is all the enemies in that vicinity that your arrow hits is going to be basically chained to the ground. So it's almost like, imagine your bow is holding hooks at the end of it, and it's gonna plunge its arrow into the ground and then attaching itself to other nearby enemies. So you're gonna aim your super at enemies, launch your super, and all the enemies are gonna be stopped. Either that, like, I'm not sure if they're gonna be dead in their tracks stopped, or if they're gonna be slowed. I would imagine they're gonna be slightly slowed, like almost like, again, if a chain's hanging off you being able to not go a certain distance, but you'd probably be able to move a little bit. So I'm pretty sure that's how it's gonna go. Now, at first I was kind of like, ew, why? Like, again, the Titan gets a hammer they can whip and, like, it just destroys everyone? What the fuck? I feel like the Hunter should be the damage dealer in the group, not the Titan. But then I started thinking about how overpowered this could be, and like, think about it, like, if you were at the end of a strike and you had to and you were going up against the boss. Say if the Hunter pins him to the ground, making him so he cannot move, and then all of your other teammates have the opportunity to whip out a sniper rifle and just lay into him in the head, which normally would be kind of hard because you can't really, when you can easily follow recoil or like crit control when you know what bullet hits. So like, if you shoot an enemy, you know he's gonna stagger back, and then when he's gonna come up, he's gonna, his face is gonna be there. But if your friend is shooting at him, you can't really account for the body movement of the character again. So for you to pin him down and for him, like, just your friends to have a clear shot at his head, it should be beautiful, like, just marvelous. So I think that's gonna be really cool. And also, I never mentioned shit. This video's kind of all over the place anyway. So for the Warlocks, one of the things that I'm pretty sure I heard on the E3 conference, what Deej said, was he said that the Warlocks have a special grenade that when you throw it, it's like a ribbon of light, or like a sword slash, I guess, that travels through the air and can actually damage opponents, which I thought was just like beyond cool. And I don't think it'd be a Titan ability, because I thought it might have been the Titans that I heard it from, but now Titans, that would make sense. You're like a blunt hammer. Why would you be throwing a blade-like thing through the air? But with like electricity, I could see like a zap wave, whatever. And hunters also have a cool grenade too. It's actually one of the things I really like, and it seems like every class is gonna have them now. Is it's a grenade that's not damage dealing, because that's usually all the grenades are in Destiny. Is like, this does this type of damage, this does this type of damage, but with a different twist, and then this does another twist, and it's like, cool. Can I have like a helpful grenade, not so much like a damage dealer, because I already have like 7 things that are damage dealers. So it's cool to see that they're actually doing defensive things. It's gonna be really handy in PvP. Anyway, so what the Night Stalker has for grenades, one of them is you can actually throw a grenade at the ground and it'll make a barrier. So actually block off like a door. Probably save your ass if you're like, if you know you're getting charged by enemies. Just back into a corner, throw it at your feet, and you'll probably be safe for a little bit, enough for you to, like, you know, maintenance the situation, which should be really cool. And I hope it's similar to the Titan bubble, because it seems like that's what the Void Walkers are gonna kind of have. Not Void Walkers, the Night Stalkers are gonna kind of have. Anyway, so before we get into the actual, I want to leave off when I was talking about the Night Stalker and like reading what it says, because I imagine it's badass and I haven't read it yet. But anyways, one of the things that I really hope is an augment for the Night Stalkers is I want, well, when you think about Void in all their effects, for Warlocks, Void damage has kind of been like a mystical art, where like, you know, you can fire this magical beam or this magical ball to atomize your foes, which is neat. But then when you go to the Hunter, kind of like like if you go into like the lore, the Grimoire, you learn that the Hunters are kind of like these, I think they made them sound like these shunned people that were kind of like known to be really good hunters, like kind of just these fierce people that were, you know, it goes on to say that they were like something about before they were brought back, they were the best fighters or something like that, or I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read the information. Anyways, so when I think of a hunter using void damage, I don't think of it being mystical or magical. I think it being dark and kind of like a rogue, you know, backstabbing, kind of necromancy, if you will. So I think it'd be really cool if they added a perk where when you do your super, all the enemies that are chained become infused with your void and are gonna do your bidding, essentially. So they won't, not to say that they're gonna like walk around and have like be your minions, but just to say when they have like maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds of being under your control, and they'll just turn to any of the other enemies or any of the threats to you and just start shooting them. And like, you know, I think that'd be really helpful, and like it would take you above being just a support. It would be really just a good perk overall. And you know, I'm not saying you would be able to do it with like elites, but just maybe like thralls, like tiny dregs, you know, things like that. You could take their mind and break it under your will for 10 seconds before they probably would die, or I don't know, do something. Maybe you could wear an exotic piece of gear that would make them explode when it happens. And also I want them to make it so the bow is not just a support thing. Like if there would be a perk in the augments for the supers for your bow to be an explosive bolt or explosive arrow, that'd be amazing. So you could just be like, you know, a damage dealer, almost like having the Celestial Nighthawk on. So you have this one powerful arrow that can really knock someone down, knock their health bar down, sorry. So I think that'd be amazing. Also, guys, I'm still pretty sick, so you guys are gonna have to forgive me. I can feel my voice going already. It's been taking me a lot to not cough. But anyways, alright, so let's finish this by reading the Night Stalkers kind of backstory / what they are and what they will become. All hunters master the frontier, but none claim territory quite like the Night Stalker. Shadowshot may seem more merciful than gun or blade, until the feeding frenzy begins. What does that mean? Does that mean there's like a damage over time? Like it's not just they pin them to the ground, it's like it starts to like eat away at them, or like maybe that would be really cool if say if like you got them, you pinned them to the ground, and then you for everyone that died that was in your like trap, their essence or whatever, their power would go to your teammates and yourself. That'd be amazing. So you get like a speed bonus, speed bonus, or a health bonus or something like that. That'd be amazing. Yeah, no, I could definitely see, because they wouldn't save the support class and make it meh, you know what I mean? They'd make the support class pretty powerful, considering that it's a support class. You know, there's not a lot in Destiny, not a lot of support classes that are really support classes, you know what I mean? Like the Defender Titan, yes, quite support classive. The Sunsinger, I kinda, you know, maybe a little bit of supportive, but other than that, I haven't noticed my grenades come back too quick with the Sunsinger around me, or anything like that. But anyways, guys, that's gonna end the video. I'm probably just showing you guys crazy gameplay in the background because it just looks so amazing. The gameplay, I mean, and just everything about it. I cannot wait to play the game. Also, I want to make you guys a video tomorrow. Not tomorrow. It may come out in a while. But basically, it's that trailer that they showed. Bungie has a thing where they like to show you a trailer, but then speed it up times 10 to where you can barely follow it. You can make it like 2 images, and then you're like, okay, cool, that looks interesting. But the other like 7 that are in there, no one really noticed. And one of the things that if you slow down the footage I was seeing is there's actual a gun that's like a realistic gun that we have in our day and age in the game. Or at least it looks that way, and that's exactly what I wanted from Destiny. I wanted to see guns that were not just so futuristic and so like over the top. Look at this crazy big fat machine gun kind of thing, like this bulky. You know, I wanted our classic nice thin guns that with the same amount of oomph, because it would make sense that some gunsmith would want to keep the design or like keep a weapon that's done a lot for a certain person, a guardian or something, keep it alive despite it being kind of like made of an old arc, a texture for guns. I think that'd be cool. Anyways, guys, nevertheless, guys, this has been Destiny, kind of like a rundown of all the new classes. Oh my god, they look so damn beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and later, guys. Also, guys, if any of you guys liked the video, thank you guys so much. It gives me an idea of what you guys want to see. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and later, guys.